They told us the ridge was empty. That's the thing about intelligence reports, they don't hear the silence before it hits. This is the debrief for Operation Iron Wind. 4 days of contact, 2 lost, 1 truth. No ridge is ever truly empty. Orders came through on a Sunday. A quick clearance op in the Korak Highlands, rocky terrain, cold winds, elevation 2,000 meters. Objective: intercept stolen drone components being moved across the border. We were a 6-man recon unit attached to Task Force Arrowhead. Call signs: Hail 1, Captain Merrick, lead. Hail 2, Jensen, comms. Hail 3, Ortiz, demo. Hail 4, Nolan, medic. Hail 5, Reeves, marksman. Hail 6, me, support and record. We left base before dawn. The mountain air was dry enough to crack your lips. The ridge looked dead, silent, but I've learned silence is just noise waiting to wake up. Insertion was smooth, a single Black Hawk drop, 0 lights, low altitude. The pilot's last words before liftoff were, "You won't hear them coming." We moved along the ridgeline, jagged rocks, dry snow patches. The valley below looked like a scar on the earth. Jensen's comms picked up faint radio pings, random bursts, nothing coherent. Merrick frowned. Could be wind bouncing our own signal. But the look he gave me said otherwise. At 0900, Reeves spotted movement, 2 heat signatures near an abandoned shepherd hut about 400 meters ahead. Merrick ordered silent approach. Ortiz and I flanked left, using the rocks as cover. As we closed in, the smell hit first, gun oil and diesel. Inside the hut were 3 crates, marked with Cyrillic stencils, still warm from handling. Drone chassis components. Jensen called it in. No response. Comms delay. That's when the ridge wind changed. Cold air sweeping in from the north, and with it, faint metal clicks echoing from the canyon below. Reeves shouted first. Movement, east slope. Then came the first burst, controlled, disciplined, accurate. These weren't scavengers. Merrick yelled for cover. We fell back behind the hut. Ortiz laid suppressing fire. I peeked through the scope. Saw silhouettes moving with military precision, closing in. Our advantage was elevation. Theirs was numbers. I called for drone support, denied. Cloud cover jammed the feed. Snow kicked up around us with every round that hit the rocks. The whole ridge felt alive, shaking, screaming. At 0930, Nolan took a shot through the thigh, clean entry, bad bleed. I dragged him behind a boulder while Ortiz packed the wound. Merrick tossed smoke and repositioned us downslope toward better cover. Reeves took the overwatch position, scanning through his scope. 3 tangos, West Ridge, moving like a unit. Merrick's reply: "We hold until we hear the hum." We all knew what that meant. Drone evac confirmation. But the hum never came. By noon, comms were dead. No air, no uplink. The wind picked up, howling through the rocks. Every gust carried whispers, not human, but enough to make you turn your head. Jensen tried recalibrating the SAT unit. It sparked, died. "We're blind," he muttered. Ortiz checked ammo. 4 mags left each. We set up defensive positions around the hut, using debris for partial cover. Then, silence again. Not even wind. Reeves whispered, "They're repositioning. Waiting for us to move first." Merrick nodded, then said something that stayed with me. "If you ever hear nothing in a fight, it's because they're listening too." Night came early in the highlands. The cold bit through our gloves. We set thermal traps, heat pads spaced 20 meters apart to fake movement. At 2130, Reeves spotted muzzle flashes in the dark. They took the bait. Merrick ordered counterfire. Ortiz triggered a small charge. The explosion lit the ridge for a second. I caught glimpses of 6 enemy fighters, maybe more, advancing in staggered pairs. They weren't locals, the gear, the movement, trained operators. 1 grenade landed near our line. Reeves shoved Jensen away, took the brunt of it. When the smoke cleared, Reeves was gone. Just his rifle, half buried in snow. Merrick didn't flinch. He just said, "Reeves held them. We hold him." We fought through the night. Ammo low, fingers numb. Every time I blinked, I saw muzzle flashes burned into my vision. Nolan passed out twice from blood loss, still tried to reload. Ortiz hummed under his breath, something Spanish, maybe a prayer. The ridge turned into a graveyard of echoes. every shot bouncing back off the canyon walls like ghosts answering us. At dawn, Merrick gave the order to move. We abandoned the hut, carried Nolan on a makeshift stretcher. Half a click west, we found an old comms relay tower. Ortiz climbed up, tried to reboot the transmitter. It sparked once, twice, then the antenna lit green. For the first time in 20 hours, we had signal. Merrick called it in. No immediate extraction. Storm incoming. We'd have to hold another night. At 1400, the ridge came alive again. Mortar fire from the east. The first round missed by meters, the second didn't. Ortiz was thrown back by the blast. I crawled to him. He was breathing, barely. Merrick shouted for smoke cover, but the wind carried it off instantly. I saw them cresting the hill, black uniforms, no insignia, faces masked. Merrick turned to me, calm as ever. You record. Always record. Then he stepped out into the open. He drew their fire, one man against a dozen, just to give us seconds. That's all we needed. When the storm broke, so did the sky. A single drone broke through the clouds, rotors screaming. We popped red smoke. Merrick was down by then. Ortiz too. Jensen and I hauled Nolan to the evac zone, snow and dust mixing with blood. We lifted off with 3 wounded and 2 gone. Command called it Operation Iron Wind, tactical success. Drone parts recovered. Ridge cleared. 2 enemy commanders neutralized. They didn't mention Reeves or Merrick by name. But when the next rotation took that same route, they reported hearing voices on the ridge. Whispered commands in the wind. Muffled clicks. The analysts said it was radio ghosting, old signals bouncing through the canyons. Maybe, some echoes don't fade. They just wait for someone else to listen.